Last time on Trials of Mana.
Damn it all.
Trials of Mana.
I would get Charlotte. You're thinking of a naughty thought, aren't you? That big old doggy dick. Kevin's going to the Tokyo Olympics.
Episode 2, Following the Light in Darkness.
We return to Trials of Mana. In the last part, Ludger and his crew took control of Jadd, and now we're gonna try to slip out without getting noticed.
Trials of Mana.
Yep. I'm never gonna live that down. There's no escape.
It's like
Yeah. You really like the innkeeper and his little dance.
oh my god, I love it.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
It's just the most random thing, like, I can see that being like a shopkeeper,
Yeah.
you know, where he's like, welcome to my shop, but like you can see his legs coming up above the counter. Like he is excited.
His sprite was like that in, I believe, Secret of Mana. He was just kind of like boom, 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 but like they just made him all the more ridiculous. Oh hey, it's Angela. Hi Angela. Sorry to say you're not part of our crew.
What is wrong
Sorry,
with you?
not sorry.
Could you
Sorry,
keep the
not
girls
sorry.
in peace
We
and
already saw
quiet?
your story.
Back off.
Ooh.
Should have slapped the shit out of Kevin.
Yep.
Rude.
He's a peeping
You
Tom.
can't get anything past me.
You're sleeping in a public inn, lady.
I know.
What a bitch.
Okay, so before we wear her hands again, let's get out of here.
Kevin's
You want to
like,
get equipped with these hands?
bruh. I like that he kicks the chests open.
Yeah.
They
Er-
each do something different.
Yeah. I forget what Charlotte's is, but it's a little ridiculous as well.
I haven't seen Charlotte, but I know, like, Reese taps it with her staff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Kevin kicks it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Hawkeye uses, like, a magic hand.
Oh, okay. Duran like
Uh.
smacks it with his sword. He like chops it. Bop, bop.
I don't remember what Angela does.
Angela kind of like flicks it with her
Yeah,
wand.
I
like,
feel like she might
Abracadabra.
actually just open it.
Give me a break. What kind of weapon shop
and here we
doesn't sell
go.
weapons?
More characters that we're not going to see throughout this journey because they're not part of our team.
Come on,
This is
these
Duran.
guys are
I was
reaching
surprised
for
how much I
the
like Duran because I thought he'd be the most cliche. And
sure
he
I
is,
can beat 'em all
but
on
like
my
he
own.
plays it well.
See, you can do cliche, but still give them a personality with the cliche.
Okay.
And I think this game does that really well. Like, all of these characters are very cliche.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, the fighter, the brute, like, the sassy bitch. You
Yeah.
know, they all have their cliche titles.
The warrior
but-
with dad issues.
Yeah. But they also still have their own personality and, like, their little quirks and jokes and things like that.
Okay.
So I think Trials of Mana did a really nice job of, even though these characters are very cliche, that they're still fun and interesting to play.
Okay. 'Cause here's Hawkeye.
This
Oh,
town's got up in a
suave
war it
Hawkeye.
never wanted. It's the same story everywhere you go in the world these days.
Hawkeye is like one of the better voice actors. So much so that like the voice actor is actually doing, he probably did it already, a run of this game when it came out.
Oh,
It's like, hey, here's a game that I did voiceover for.
that's fun.
I'm the voice of Hawkeye, and we're gonna play as Hawkeye.
My brother is missing, and I must find him as soon as possible.
So it kind of like shared some tidbits about what his experience was, and it basically confirms that like he wasn't in a studio. They kind of just handed him the script. He didn't really have that much footage to go off of to match, and he was.
Yeah.
They just gave him like the context of scenes and stuff like that. So it's like, unfortunately, standard dubbing, not professional dubbing. Whereas professional dubbing, like when they dub a Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh,
You
we
match the
watched-
flaps,
yeah,
they
we
go
watched-
through every single performance, every single
yeah.
line, and the
We watched
emotions.
a video on that with, I think,
If you're trying
not
to
Spirited
leave the
Away.
city,
How's Moving
Knife
Castle?
is actually best.
No.
Cat's Return?
I think it was
Okay.
The Cat's Return, because I remember
Maybe
Carrie
use
Ellis
that
was in the
I've
video.
seen How's Moving Castle.
The whole
Behind the
lot of
scenes.
them tend
Okay.
to
It's actually really
I have
good.
not.
brawl amongst
But we
themselves
watched a
until
video
dawn.
on that where they have to like
Mhm.
match the
Sneak
mouth
out of the
flaps,
city
and
then.
like if it doesn't match, they'll change the dub
Yeah.
so that it
Wait
does
for night.
match without like changing the
Sleep at the
entire
inn
meaning
until
of the
then.
scene.
Yeah.
Just
But
wish our guards
they
weren't the
definitely
ones
go
causing
all out.
trouble.
I can see why, though. They have a much bigger budget
Yeah.
than...
Well, it's a shame because this company has the budget, just like they don't trust the license, like the series, enough to
Yeah.
put that much money in, which is a shame. So like if this was Final Fantasy, you bet their ass like they
yeah.
put in like the millions and trillions of dollars to make it happen.
But see, though,
they
that's
do
what...
in the Final Fantasy
I was
VII
gonna say,
remake.
but see, though, that's what happens, is you do have the franchises, like Final Fantasy. So, players, like... And we talk about this a lot. The fan base is so stuck on things that they love that they don't want to really do new things.
Right.
That's the whole issue with, like, the Paper Mario series. Everyone's like, this isn't like Thousand Year Door. This isn't the same. This is different. Okay, well, Trials of Mana is different than Final
Whoop.
Fantasy.
Who's there?
Luger's like, I smell wet dog. Freddy, is that you?
Freddy.
Oh, that was a close one.
But that's kind of like game companies in general,
Yeah.
because
There you go.
Square
So-
in their heyday had like 7 or 8 different kinds of RPGs.
Yeah.
Granted, they were all RPGs, but that was what Square did best.
Right.
They did
But
Chrono
then,
Trigger,
you
they
know,
did Valkyrie Profile.
One of them takes off, and then that's all they do, because that's what makes money.
Yeah.
So it's the difference of being a business and making money and being an artist and making art.
Mm-hmm.
Because, especially after playing the games that we've played, I definitely think video games are an art form. Watching you make them, you know, it takes a lot of skill and talent and knowledge of how things work and how things are gonna look. And,
Yeah.
you know, like, I definitely think it's an art form. So it's kind of like, all right, are we gonna almost, I don't want to say sell out, because you still have to put all that same work in.
Right.
But it's not with a new idea. It's not with a new concept.
I still stand by that the game industry has a brighter future than the film industry, because the game industry doesn't have that chokehold that it thinks it does. Like the AAA developers are steadily competing with indie developers, whether they like to or not, whereas Hollywood doesn't really have that strong competitor. At least I don't think.
Well, I think that there's a difference
Like
with
maybe there's
games
Netflix
film,
and streaming services making their movies. Maybe that's the
but
counterpoint.
it's still the thing I feel like indie developers versus, like, what did you call them, AAA developers?
AAA developers,
Okay.
yep.
So you have indie game developers that can make a really fucking cool game that really does match what these large game developers are making. Whereas you have like an indie film director.
Gameplay wise, yes. Graphic wise, no. Indie developers do
Yeah.
not have the tools to make like Uncharted.
Well, I haven't played any of those games.
Right.
But what I mean is you have an audience that respects and wants to play these indie games.
There you go. Yep, I can agree to that.
Whereas, like, you have, like, the Sundance films, you know, where it's a lot of, like, indie film directors. And I feel like, in a way, film and even fine art, the artists get super fucking cocky about it. I'm a film director. And then they just get way too weird that it's a very niche audience that wants to view their shit.
Okay.
Whereas, like, large film companies, you know, Hollywood, they're gonna make the bullshit that everyone rushes out to go see.
Yeah.
If it's got boobs on the cover, it's gonna do well. Whereas indie film developers are like, I'm gonna get into the deep levels of your mind. And then people are like, this is fucking weird. I don't wanna see this.
We're gonna do an acid trip on this seaweed at the beach.
Yeah, like there's not that fan service to it.
Okay.
Because to them, it's still their art form. It's their art piece. Whereas, like, Hollywood USA isn't like, this is art. They're like, this is gonna make me a
is
shit
gonna
ton
make
of
money.
money.
Yep.
Like, so there's a different mindset to it. And
Okay.
unfortunately, the business, this is gonna make a lot of money, tends to do better than this is my art.
Right. Well, alrighty then.
Yeah.
So it's nighttime, and now we're a wolf with a wolf mind. Because when it turns into night. So during day cycles, it's just regular Kevin, and then on night cycles, when you go
Yeah.
into battle, you become Wolf Kevin.
Kevin's like, I'm a dog.
Ah, ooh, werewolves in London. Ah, ooh, Kevin in the forest.
What? I love that his arms just like go out when he's a wolf.
Yeah.
I can't put my arms down.
He's like, you ready for this?
Dun, dun, dun.
But yeah, we talked about how the Mana series has like adorable little enemies and actually ferocious bosses.
Yeah.
Like we actually feel guilty fighting regular enemies in this game because they look like just little critters in their
Well,
natural
like,
habitat.
Exactly. That's that. I forget what playthrough we were talking whenever I brought that up. I was like, these little creatures aren't like monsters that have overrun a location. It's not like in I Am Setsuna where they're like, hey, listen, these demon monsters have like taken over the area. Get rid of the demon monsters.
Yeah.
Because they're invaders. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. These little guys are just like, I'm third generation. This is my hut. This was my mom's hut. This was my grandmama's hut. And then we just like come and kill them.
Yeah. I mean, the only counterpoint I can have is like maybe overpopulation.
They're just,
But I don't know. The story doesn't flat out
no.
explain like an I Am Setsuna where it's just like this
Yeah.
is a problem.
The little monsters are just like, quick, protect your homes. And then we as the protagonist is just like, nah, bro. I'm gonna kill you.
I really like the song that plays here. It's called Howl. It's nice and soothing.
Yay, level up.
Woo. Okay.
So yeah, we got stamina. Gotta put things towards stamina and strength. So you can put points towards a specific like factor until you reach a certain level.
Yeah,
Then
and
they
then it,
max
like,
on that
maxes
point,
out.
and then you have to switch to another one. Until I think you like gain a new class, then you're able to reach more points with that factor. I think that's how it works. Like when you change your class, then you're allowed more. But until you change your class, no matter how many levels you gain, it's just gonna cap off right there.
You're like way more into it than I was. I saved at every single save statue.
Well, I'm playing on normal, number one. Number two, I only like saving like at the end of recording sessions. That way if something goes wrong, I can be like, whoop, okay, load the previous save.
Okay.
I also do what's called like filtering between files. So I'll be like, all right, for part 1, I'll save on file A, for part 2 on B.
Okay.
And then part 3, I'll go back to A. That way I always have like a backup in case something gets corrupted or
Yeah.
something. Where it's just like, okay, it was only like 30 minutes
I
back.
like every single time I pass the save statue, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna save here because chances are I'm gonna die soon.
Well, you didn't have footage to
No,
rely on,
no.
so it's just like, have fun!
Yeah,
Have at it!
I was just going.
Just going ghost.
I'm going ghost. I just finished that series.
Yes, you did.
I'm always pleasantly surprised how much I like it. Like I know I like
That
it,
one?
and then I
Okay.
rewatch it, and I'm just, I really like this cartoon.
I really like the Ultimate Enemy episode. I think that's like the
Yeah.
perfect episode.
Where him and Vlad like morph together.
Yup.
and He becomes like this big bad.
Yeah, that's a really good one. But I like Vlad as a character, even though he's very petty. I just really
He's
like him as a
petty
character.
and super campy, but like you can understand why.
Yeah.
I love that he gets a cat and names it Maddie.
Oh my god. If anybody asks, you're my sister's cat.
I say that to my cats all the time. Like, they have long since been my cats.
Yes.
Like, that I've taken care of them and, you know, been their primary caregiver. But anytime I'm like, yeah, I have 4 cats. I mean, they're my mom's. Just so that I don't look like the crazy cat lady.
And
Oh, it was really bad before we started dating because people would be like, so, you know, what's your life like? And I'd be like, well, I live in a Victorian house by myself with 4 cats. And they'd be like, oh. Okay. I'm like, it's not what it looks like.
what does it look like?
They're my mom's cats.
So I really like going through towns and areas at night because you can actually see the glowing sparks easier. They'd be like, ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
That's something I need. Whereas they kind of just blend in with the background in the daytime, and I'll walk right past them and be like, oh, wait,
Yeah,
that was a
I
spark.
can see one up on the top.
Alright, so this is the lake town Astoria. My advice is, like, as soon as you get here, collect as many as you can and talk to as many characters as possible. because this is a very temporary area. You won't be coming back here.
Adore the little houses.
The little huts?
Yeah, with like their little heart-shaped windows.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I need to get a she shed with little heart-shaped windows.
Okay.
And that is where I will do my artwork, so that I don't boil in the attic.
Yeah, that attic's gotten bad. Got some lucre.
Ooh.
And what's down here? Item seed.
Kevin is like, oh no, I'm gonna smell.
Out of everything in the game that I like to collect, item seeds are the main ones because when you go to an inn,
Yeah, you can plant them.
plant them and you get special items. And the more you plant, the more it will level up, giving you better items. And that becomes a huge factor when you want to change your class later on.
Yeah.
Which I find essential in having an easy time with the Benevodons.
See, like,
Because you get additional skills to counter the Benevodons,
those things
which are
all
very
make so
powerful
much
bosses.
sense when you like say them.
Yeah.
And I tried so hard to like implement that idea while I was playing, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like not smart enough. Like, I don't know. I would try, but instead I'd be like, "Ooh, I like this costume." like,
What degree of hand-holding do you like in a game? Like, not from me, from the game itself. Do you like the game to physically teach you? Do you want the game to explain with a wall of text? Like, oh, hey, this is what you do. Do you want, like, a visual tutorial where it shows you what to do and be like, okay, now replicate that? Because, like, that's a very strong point, because, like, people
Like,
are
I
like,
feel
don't tell me
like-
what to do!
No,
And they
I
get
feel
mad.
like
It's just
this
like, I don't know
game-
what to do!
I know. I feel like this game did a nice job of that because, like, you would learn a new skill, so they would have, like, this little monster, and they'd be like, okay, let's practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could do, like, a practice battle without taking, insane amounts of damage.
And
And then they'd be like, all right, go for it. Try it out.
Well, it
Like-
also implements what I first saw in Dark Souls, and I don't know if the game did it before then, but Dark Souls during loading screens gives you tips about stuff like, oh, so that's what
See,
that
and
is,
I like
which
that-
is brilliant because it's the game's
Yeah.
loading anyways. Might
You
as well
have to
just
wait.
tell you some stuff.
So I really like that, but
That
I
you
do
probably didn't catch.
like kind of how Paper Mario Origami King was, where it's like if I felt stuck or lost, you can press Olivia's button and she will point you in the right direction.
Okay, so you do like
So
that.
she doesn't necessarily pop out every single time to be like, go this way. Like, you still have to do it on your own unless you're stuck, and then you can ask her.
Okay. So, would it bother you more if, like,
What the?
the screen, like, pinged if Olivia wanted to talk?
A light?
I don't think so.
Like,
Like,
bing,
if she needed to say something, or like, if I'm dicking around too much in an area and have to go a certain way, if it's like, hey, I've got something to say.
Okay. Noted.
Because again, like, especially with open world things and
Flying
RPGs, I
light.
love them. Like,
Yeah.
this was one of the few
Never seen
games that I
anything
would like
that.
go and play and not even tell you. I would just like,
Yeah, you
follow.
just
or you didn't have
gravitate
to
back
say
to.
like, hey, you haven't played a game in a while, like, why
Yeah.
not go play? I would just like go do it. But it was also a little confusing at the beginning because I didn't know where to go. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know what direction I needed to go in.
See, this was the first time I learned
And
about
then-
shortcuts. Like,
yeah.
there's the item wheel, but you can also just set shortcuts. And I'm just like, oh shit, that's right.
But then you also pointed out on the map, it will have like a little star of where you need to go.
Yeah.
So, and then that helped so much when I was like, oh, just head that way. So if I ever felt lost, I would just go towards the star.
Okay, cool. But you still felt free to explore.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah. But I knew I could always pull up the map and get back on track.
Okay, cool.
Whereas, like, for games that you've explained where it's just like, you just kind of go. I don't know how much I would. I feel like if I was relaxed enough, I would really like it.
Yeah.
But I would be so much like, what is the task? Where do I need to go? What
Yeah.
do I need to get done? Where do like, who do I need to find?
Yeah, and people's
You know,
like, whatever you
versus, like-
want. And I'm just
yeah,
like,
and I'm like, that's not good
"Eh."
enough. I need an answer. Or else I'm just gonna wander the same goddamn area for 6 hours like I did in Dragon Age.
I actually recently bought Dragon Age. Dragon Age 2. I don't know if that's the same one you played,
I
but
played Inquisition.
Inquisition, okay. I'm sure it's
And
not
it's
that
literally like,
different.
I stayed in one area
Oh, yeah?
because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. So I just literally looped the same area.
Did the
and
game
fought the
tell you,
same
or did it
battles.
cast you
No.
off and be like, go wander?
No, it just let me stay in that one area. And I am not
Hmm.
even kidding. Like, I was playing at a friend's house, and she was cleaning while I was playing. So, like, she wasn't like, hey, why are you still in that same little plateau?
Right.
And I just stayed there.
Oh boy.
And I, like, finally she came in, and I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, I was fighting the same bosses. As soon as I would, like, loop around, they'd respawn.
Ew.
So I was, like, doing just the same battle over and over and over.
That's bizarre.
But, like, I didn't know what to do. The map didn't tell me where I needed to go.
Right.
To the best of my knowledge, anyway.
Probably has like a big
And
symbol
yeah,
that you never
probably
picked
had,
up
like,
on.
This big star that's like, you are here. And then another big star, you need to be here. And I'd be like, I don't get it.
I don't know, lols. Let's go fight this goblin for the 16th time.
I'm pretty sure I've told you before I'm the smartest dumb person you ever meet.
Alright. Smartest dumb person. Alright, so anyways, we need to follow that ball of light. It went up here. So this is kind of like an Olivia type character as well. A very common trope in video games, the guide character.
Yeah.
So far we've experienced, I want to say 3. Olivia, Fairy, and Stuffwell.
Yeah. See, and it's like, honestly, I really liked the idea of them. Stuffwell is my least favorite.
Okay.
But I think it's more or less because I don't like his grandifications of words.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I get it, it's a kid's game. They probably thought that was amazing, but it's just really annoying.
Okay.
So I would say out of everyone, he was my least favorite.
Okay.
That and he popped up way more often than the others. He was less a part of the story.
Okay.
Like, he appeared very much, I'm the guide, let me show you the way. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop the game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other ones are kind of like incorporated into the game.
Okay.
So like Fairy, she stops the game sometimes too to explain things, but in a manner that suits the game.
Okay.
It doesn't seem so jarring.
Okay, yeah.
And then Olivia is like a part of the game. Like, she's in the battles.
Yeah.
She, she's in the story.
She's the player's eyes, really.
Yeah.
More so than Mario is,
Yeah.
because Mario's just like the straight man. But Olivia is just like,
Ooh, what's
Yeah.
this?
I know, she's like, ooh, that looks pretty, Mario. You should touch it.
Bad touch, bad touch.
I know.
uh-oh, we heard boom.
What happened? Was it?
We're gonna go back to the lake town and hear boom.
Go back.
See, I don't know if I want to do like a painting of Fairy or a sculpture of Fairy.
Maybe a painting. I want you to stick to, and like not to give you assignments or anything, but the sculpture of Little Cactus. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing how that turns out.
I want to do the sculpture of Little Cactus because I freaking love Little Cactus and I want to have a sculpture. Whereas like with Fairy, I'm like, I think it would just be cool, but I don't know what I would do with it.
Have you told the story of Little Cactus on an episode?
I don't think so.
Cause like, well, go on.
So when we were playing this for the first time last year during quarantine, and I was watching it from my house while you were playing at your house on like our cell phones, and I
Yeah.
couldn't see shit.
Why are you
But you were like, yeah, I have to like go around and collect this cactus. And in my head, I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. Like, why a cactus? Like, that's so stupid. And the entire game, I was like, that's fucking stupid that you have to get this little cactus. And then I started playing it and I saw a little cactus.
Yeah.
And I saw his happy goddamn little face in his pot. And then if you look away and he moves and he has these little chicken feet.
Yep, little
and I was
chicken
like,
feet.
that is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And now I'm kind of obsessed with little cactus.
Yep.
So I want to do like a sculpture of him. Kind of like how I do the Let's Paint.
Okay.
Where, make a video of it to show the process. But I kind of want to do him as like a jewelry holder.
I like that idea.
Where his little spikes will like hold the rings and I can like set loose jewelry on his little flower head. But he is just so cute. Mm-hmm. And part of me hates that I love him so much because just in the grand scheme of the
I like
whole
how you
game-
just went from 0 to 100 with him. Like, the stupidest thing I've
I know,
heard.
it's like,
To,
it's so
oh my god, it's the
goddamn cute, but I was
best
like,
character in the
"It's
game.
so cute! Like, I think it's because I couldn't see him. Like, while we were... While
So
I
you
was
were just
watching it on
expecting,
the
like,
phone.
just a
I was
little
just, yeah, I was
cactus.
expecting, like, just a little cactus. Like, I didn't expect him to be like a character
Mm-hmm.
that could like move around and like do his little dance, and he has his own little map, and I don't know, he's just really cute. He gives you like special little prizes.
Yep, you got to stamp them off, and if you stamp like 5 in a row, you get a prize.
But he's so cute. So I don't know for the sculpture if I want to put him in the pot, like in his little terracotta pot,
Okay.
or if I want to sculpt him with his little feet,
Ooh.
or if maybe I want to do both.
Yeah, do him with the feet, and then uh-oh. Yep, so that's why we had to collect through the lake town Astoria, because it gets under attack, and it never comes
Where are the
back.
humans?
I like Kevin. Where are the humans?
This looks like the work of
They
those
did,
men.
man. They did.
Cowards.
There is no time to waste. We have to get to the priest
All right.
of light as soon as possible.
So, we're going to rummage around the scraps in the next part, and yeah, head back to Cascade Cavern. See you then.
Womp womp. Doodles.